Sagittarius, you have spent most of your life running toward the horizon, chasing the next adventure, the next idea, the next feeling that makes your chest expand and your spirit feel alive. But somewhere along the way you started to wonder, is there a version of peace that does not require you to sit still? Is there a kind of calm that does not cage the fire inside you? The answer is yes. And this video is going to show you 8 directions that lead you there. Stay until the end because the last direction might change the way you see everything. Direction 1. The first direction that brings peace without losing freedom is choosing your battles with intention. For most of your life, you fought everything. Every injustice, every disagreement, every moment where someone tried to tell you what to do. And while that fire served you well in many situations, it also burned you out. It left you exhausted from wars that were never yours to fight. But now something is shifting. You are learning that peace does not come from winning every argument. It comes from knowing which arguments are worth having in the first place. And that is a skill that only experience can teach. When you were younger, everything felt urgent. Every conflict demanded your full attention, your full energy, your full voice. But with time, you started to realize that most of the things you fought over did not matter 6 months later. They did not change anything. They just took from you. They took your sleep, your calm, your joy, and gave you nothing in return except the hollow satisfaction of being right. Now, you are choosing differently. You look at a situation and you ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Does this deserve my peace? And if the answer is no, you walk away. Not because you are weak, not because you do not care, but because you have finally learned that your peace is more valuable than your pride. And that understanding, Sagittarius, is the first step toward a kind of freedom most people never find. The freedom to let things go. The freedom to not react. The freedom to choose calm over chaos, even when chaos is knocking at your door. You are not losing your fire. You are learning where to aim it. And that makes all the difference. Direction 2. The second direction is allowing yourself to need people without losing your independence. This one is complicated for you because Sagittarius has always been the sign that can do it alone. You have built your identity around self-sufficiency, around being the one who does not need help, who does not need saving, who can handle anything life throws at them. And for the most part, that is true. You are incredibly capable. But capability and connection are not the same thing. You can be strong and still want someone to lean on. You can be independent and still open the door when someone offers to walk beside you. For a long time, you confused needing people with being weak. You thought that asking for help was the same as admitting failure. So you carried everything alone. The grief, the stress, the fear, the weight of decisions that no one person should have to make by themselves. And you survived it. But surviving and living are not the same thing either. Now, you are learning that there is a kind of peace that only comes through real, honest connection. The kind where you let someone see the parts of you that are not strong. The parts that are tired, uncertain, afraid. And instead of judging you, they sit with you. They hold space for you. They remind you that you do not have to carry everything on your own. That is not weakness, Sagittarius. That is the bravest thing you have ever done. Because letting someone in requires more courage than shutting everyone out. And the peace that follows, it is deeper than anything independence alone could ever give you. Direction 3. The third direction is creating a daily rhythm that honors both your need for structure and your need for spontaneity. You have always resisted routine. The very word makes your skin itch because routine feels like a cage and you were born to roam. But here is what you are starting to understand. Not all structure is a prison. Some structure is a foundation. Some structure gives you the stability you need to be free in the ways that matter. Think about it this way. A river has banks. Without those banks, the water would spread in every direction and lose its power. But within those banks, the river flows with incredible force. It moves mountains. It carves canyons. It reaches the ocean. Your routine can be like those banks. Not something that restricts you, but something that channels your energy so it actually goes somewhere meaningful. You do not need a rigid schedule. You do not need every hour accounted for. But you do need anchors. A morning practice that centers you. An evening ritual that helps you release the day. A few non-negotiable habits that keep your body, mind, and spirit in alignment. When you have those anchors, everything else can be as wild and spontaneous as you want it to be. You can change plans at the last minute. You can follow a whim. You can wake up and decide to do something completely different, because the anchors hold you steady, no matter where the wind takes you. That is the kind of peace you have been looking for, Sagittarius. Not the peace of a still pond, but the peace of a river that knows exactly where it is going. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Direction 4. The fourth direction is releasing the need to always be somewhere else. This is one of the deepest patterns you carry, Sagittarius, and it has been with you your entire life. No matter where you are, part of you is always wondering what is happening somewhere else. At a dinner, you think about the trip you could be taking. On a trip, you think about the next destination. You are always half here, half somewhere in the future. And that split attention robs you of the very experiences you are chasing. Peace for you starts with being fully present in the moment you are in. Not the next moment, not the better moment. This one, the one where you are sitting in your chair, reading these words, breathing in and out without effort. This moment is enough. And when you can truly feel that, when you can stop the mental leaping from one place to the next and just land where you are, something inside you settles. It is like a compass finally finding north. You stop spinning, you stop searching, and you realize that the peace you have been running toward was waiting for you right here, in the life you already have. That does not mean you stop dreaming. It does not mean you stop exploring. It means you learn to enjoy the space between adventures with the same enthusiasm you bring to the adventures themselves. Because life is not just the highlights. Life is also the quiet mornings, the familiar faces, the small rituals that make a house feel like a home. And when you give those moments the same respect you give the big ones, you discover a peace that no amount of traveling could ever provide. Direction 5. The fifth direction is giving yourself permission to change your mind without explanation. You have spent years defending your choices. Every decision you made, you felt the need to justify it, to explain it, to make it make sense to everyone around you. But peace comes when you realize that you do not owe anyone an explanation for the way you choose to live your life. You are allowed to change direction. You are allowed to want something different than what you wanted 5 years ago. You are allowed to grow out of beliefs, relationships, habits, and dreams that no longer fit who you are becoming. And you do not have to write a thesis about why. The people who love you will trust your judgment. The people who do not trust your judgment were never really for you. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you stop wasting energy trying to convince people who were never going to understand anyway. This is a particular kind of freedom that Sagittarius needs more than most signs. Because your nature is to evolve. Your nature is to expand, to shift, to become. And every time you try to lock yourself into a version of who you used to be, just to keep other people comfortable, you betray the very essence of who you are. So stop explaining. Stop defending. Stop performing consistency for people who would not do the same for you. Change your mind as many times as you need to. Grow in whatever direction calls you. And trust that the right people, the ones who actually belong in your life, will follow. Not because you convinced them, but because they see you clearly and they choose to stay. Direction 6. The sixth direction is forgiving yourself for the years you spent lost. Because you were lost, Sagittarius. Maybe not to the outside world, but inside yourself there were seasons when you had no idea where you were going. You made decisions that led you in circles. You trusted people who led you astray. You chased things that turned out to be empty and gave up things that turned out to be precious. And for a long time you carried the weight of those detours like a punishment you deserved. But here is the truth you need to hear. Those years were not wasted. Every wrong turn taught you something. Every dead end showed you a boundary you needed to see. Every season of confusion brought you closer to the clarity you carry now. You were never lost in the way you think you were. You were searching. And searching is what Sagittarius does best. The difference is that now you are not searching blindly anymore. You are searching with purpose, with wisdom, with the kind of hard-earned direction that only comes from someone who has already walked through the dark and found their way out. So forgive yourself for the detours. Forgive yourself for the time you think you wasted. Because every moment of your life, even the messy ones, especially the messy ones, built the person you are today. And that person is someone worth being. That person has a depth and a resilience and a quiet strength that could not exist without those years of wandering. You were not lost, Sagittarius. You were being prepared. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Direction 7. The 7th direction is building a life that does not need to be escaped from. That might sound obvious, but think about how many years you spent building lives that you immediately wanted to leave. Jobs that bored you, relationships that boxed you in, routines that made you feel like you were slowly disappearing. And instead of changing the structure, you would escape it. You would travel, you would start over, you would burn it all down and begin again somewhere else. But the pattern followed you because the problem was never the place or the people. The problem was that you were building lives based on what you thought you should want, instead of what you actually needed. Now, you have the wisdom to build differently. You know that you need space in your relationships, not distance but breathing room. You know that you need work that challenges your mind and gives you a sense of purpose. You know that you need time alone without it meaning something is wrong. And you know that you need beauty, nature, movement, and meaning woven into your everyday existence, not saved for vacations. When you build a life that includes all of those things, the urge to escape fades. Not because you have become someone who stays put, but because you have finally created something worth staying for. And that is the most peaceful realization a Sagittarius can have. You do not need to run if the life you have built feels like home. You can still travel. You can still explore. But you do it from a place of fullness, not emptiness. And that changes everything about the experience. Direction 8. The 8th and final direction is trusting that the best is not behind you. This is the direction that requires the most courage, Sagittarius. Because after 60 years of living, it is tempting to look back and think that the golden days are gone. The energy you had in your 20s, the fearlessness of your 30s, the ambition of your 40s, can feel like the peak has passed and everything from here is a slow descent. But that is a lie. A comfortable, familiar lie that keeps people small and stuck and afraid to try again. The truth is that you are entering a chapter of your life where everything you have learned can finally be applied. All the wisdom, all the experience, all the scars that became lessons. They are not just memories, they are tools. And you have more of them now than you have ever had before. The adventures ahead of you are different from the ones behind you, yes. But different does not mean lesser. The love you find now will be deeper because you know what shallow love costs. The peace you build now will be stronger because you know what chaos feels like. The joy you experience now will be richer because you have tasted grief and chosen to keep living anyway. Do not let anyone, including yourself, convince you that the best days are behind you. They are not. They are ahead of you, waiting with a patience that matches the patience you have finally learned to carry. Trust the road, Sagittarius. Trust your sign. Trust that the archer always has one more arrow. Everything you just heard was designed for where you are right now, Sagittarius. Not where you were 5 years ago, and not where someone thinks you should be. Right now, in this moment, with all the fire you still carry and all the wisdom you have earned along the way. These 8 directions are not rules. They are invitations. Invitations to live more peacefully without sacrificing the freedom that makes you who you are. You do not have to choose between peace and adventure. You never did. The real journey was always about learning to hold both at the same time. And you are closer to that balance than you have ever been. Let this be the moment you stop searching for peace somewhere out there and start building it right where you are. You have 2 options after this video: close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.